what do I do if my contractor won't finish the job? I'll be honest with you. I normally like to say, hey, give us your name, what city, location you're in. But this one actually was an anonymous question. Given the question, what do I do if my contractor won't finish the job? I can't blame them. This is a tough question. This is one where, wow, what if my contractor won't finish the job? Through when COVID started, right, we saw such an uptick in real estate investment, people entering that space who had never touched it before. And so we had so many flips again, kind of similar to a pre-2008. We had so many people trying to be investors in real estate, wholesaling, which we could spend an hour talking about, a lot of different areas of investing in real estate, which a lot of those projects required some form of upfitting, construction, or even new development. And so you have to, in North Carolina, if it is a job, $30,000 or more in work, it's kind of a baseline threshold of you are required to work with a general contractor. There are some exceptions to that rule, and then there are also some less than $30,000 thresholds that still require you to work with a general contractor or specific tradesperson to complete that work. And so what happened is these contractors, some of which aren't bad people. Let me be honest with you. A lot of these people aren't, trying to scam everyone. I don't think that's the intention of all of them. A lot of them, a vast majority of them, though there are always scammers in the world. I think some people just got over leveraged and overextended. And so we saw, I particularly heard, in my transactional firm before I exited, got a lot of calls from people about contractors not finishing the job, let's say for repairs, even in order to complete a closing, due diligence repair requests not being completed because contractors just were flaking. And so it begs the question, what do I do? What do you do if you've given someone, let's say, a $10,000 deposit on a job worth $50,000 and the contractor's just not calling you back, or they're not showing up and they're not doing the work that they told you that they would do? And maybe you even signed a contract with them to complete. So what do you do? I'm not a litigation attorney. There are litigation options out there. Anytime you sign a contract, and there are certain situations where even if you don't sign a contract, there is an implied contract. And so litigation is obviously an option. But I think of it more on the practical side of, okay, what's it worth? If I gave someone a $10,000 deposit, that's not a little bit of money. So let's be honest, that's not a little bit of dollars. So litigation is always on the table for enforcement purposes. But there's other things too of, okay, what's it worth for my time and the headache? So that's a hard question. What do I do if my contractor won't finish the job? This is why it's so important to find reliable people. And when we talk about a market where there's a labor shortage and everyone's just like, no, I need it done tomorrow, so I'll take the first person I get, right? It's very hard to stay true to a mindset of I'm going to obtain 3 quotes. That's the way I was taught, right? You always get multiple quotes for a job, but when you're needing something fast, that can be challenging, and it takes discipline to stay on that path. So seek legal help, obviously, is one answer. I think you definitely should talk to an attorney, just because for legal peace of mind, just to know what your options are. And then it becomes a cost analysis, right? Because what's it going to cost you to track down and force the contractor to do the work, if you even can, right? Because if a lot of contractors, live job to job. And so if there's really no money to be had, and if you're really not going to get anywhere, the unfortunate and the hard truth is sometimes it's better to cut your losses. I'm speaking from experience partially on that at certain points in my life too. And it's difficult, and you've got to make that choice. Because again, I don't think everyone who falls short and fails at business is necessarily a bad person, or maybe they didn't start as a bad person, or maybe, certain decisions as it relates to you that they weren't being a bad person. They just, we all have a fight or flight mentality depending on our personal situation. And when things get tough, things change, and money changes people. We know that's been true since the beginning of time. And That's unfortunately going to be the case forever. So I feel for you, whoever you are, Anon. I hope that you get the help that you want and that you paid for. That's always what it comes down to. You just wish people would do what they said they would do, especially when you're paying them to do it. So